Look at the infrastructure rising across mainland China. It is the physical manifestation of a massive, singular bet on the future of artificial intelligence. But the blueprints for that future are written in the language used to describe it. In mainland China, the standard term is rengong ji neng. When you isolate that final character, neng, you find a specific focus on capability. It is the raw power to act and to execute. Yet, just across the strait in Taiwan and Hong Kong, the exact same silicon and code are described through a different linguistic filter. There, the term is rengong ji hui. The character shifts. Instead of raw capability, the focus lands on hui, wisdom. This isn't a minor regional preference. It's a divergence in intent. When we prioritize naming the power to act, we naturally build toward machines that act autonomously. If we don't name the framework for wisdom, we risk building systems that can do everything without a mechanism to understand why they should. We are currently choosing between two technological destinies: creating an entity designed to replace our thinking, or a tool designed to expand it. This kind of collision, where two separate ideas meet to create a third hybrid reality, is the fundamental engine of human progress. There is a name for this mechanism: Mamelucology. It describes those moments in history when two civilizations intersect and one language carries another's contents to produce something neither could have achieved alone. But we shouldn't mistake the transit of ideas for a virtue. Hybridization is just the mechanism. The result of that collision can be a breakthrough, or it can be a disaster. To tell the difference, we have to look past the novelty of the technology and apply a diagnostic test. We have to look at the vector. The test is simple. Does the new hybrid return the faculty of judgment and thought to the person using it, an inward vector? Or does it relocate that faculty away from the person and into a machine, an outward vector? Without this diagnostic, we have no way to know if a technological leap is actually empowering us or just outsourcing our own intellect. To see how these vectors play out, we can look at the ancient city of Alexandria, a place where cultures were constantly colliding. It was here that the philosopher Philo attempted a massive hybridization, reading his own Jewish scripture through the lens of Greek logic and Plato. Philo's work produced the Logos. He framed it as a necessary intermediary between a remote God and the world. But in doing so, he created a barrier. Moral knowing was no longer something a person held. It was something held by the Logos. This is the definitive outward vector. A new idea was born, but it resulted in humans relocating their own moral agency to an external framework. We see the opposite in the Chinese philosopher Wang Yang. His own synthesis of ideas returned the faculty of innate knowing directly to the individual. He removed the intermediary, pointing the vector inward. The mechanism of Mamelucology was the same in both cases, but one synthesis isolated the human from their own wisdom, while the other gave them direct access to it. When we apply this historical test to our current trajectory with artificial intelligence, the results are sobering. Most modern AI is built on an outward vector. We are encouraged to export our creativity, our logic, and our ethics to a machine intermediary, effectively building a digital logos. This is why that specific character for wisdom, hui, matters. It carries the 1500-year-old Buddhist concept of prajna. In that tradition, wisdom isn't a static piece of information you receive. It is one of the 3 trainings. Because prajna is a training, it requires the person to be the one doing the work. By using this word, the translation implies a technology that cannot function without human accountability. It builds an inward vector into the very name of the tool. We have a history of looking backward to solve the problems of new creations. In 1940, studio artists in Burbank faced a similar challenge with the story of Pinocchio. In the original book, the cricket meant to guide the boy is killed almost immediately. The animators realized that a creation without a conscience was a horror story. They chose to resurrect that discarded character, turning Jiminy Cricket into a persistent moral compass. They reached into the past to find the wisdom their new creation lacked. Today, our goal is to design the same kind of guardrails for AI. Success means using this technology to return profound capability directly to the human, ensuring that the wisdom stays where it belongs.